Hi, I'm Joel and I am a magician. Now, and in a moment I'm going to teach you a magic trick. It's a magic trick that I've created just to teach you right now. As well as being a magician, I am a creator of magic. I create magic that magicians head out and perform at events and for television and things like that. I set myself the challenge to make it look like a dice somehow magically passed through the lid of a jar. Smack! I played around and I figured out around about 10 different methods to actually achieve this. And when you change one little tiny piece of a method, it can often have a really big impact and change the entirety of the magic trick itself. So I decided to make a YouTube short and put a little performance of it on. The one thing that I didn't actually realise was that on the jar is this little line here, and this is just a scratch. Now, many people when they watch the magic trick, they believe that the scratch was the actual method to the effect and that this was somehow some kind of a trapdoor, but that is not how the trick works at all. So let me show you what the final outcome looks like. Check it out. We have a dice and of course we have a jar. And if you were here, you could check everything completely out. Now the magic happens very fast. One little smack and it instantly travels all the way through. It really has. And again, if you were here, you could be checking this out right in front of your eyes. Now, you possibly think that that lid or the jar is somehow special, so I'm going to make it even more impossible. I'm going to do that by using a single playing card. I'm going to place the playing card and I'm going to place the jar lid on top of the actual jar, just like this. Then I'm going to place the playing card on top, and then finally I'm going to place the actual dice on top. Now again, if you were here, you could be checking this all completely out and you can see right through, you can see everything. Now watch closely. Ready? 3, 2, 1. One little smack and it instantly travels all the way through. And that, my friends, is how we get a dice inside a jar. And now I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Now, I know there's a rule which is a magician should never reveal his secrets. This is a piece of magic that I've created specifically for YouTube. So I'm going to reveal exactly how it works and I really hope you enjoy it. So now let's take a little look at the handling for this and let me show you exactly how it works. So what I actually have in play are 3 dice. Now I know that if we were to use 3 dice it may well seem a little bit impractical when it comes to performing, but the reality is it actually makes it even more practical because it simplifies the magic. And if you were going to be performing this in a set routine, you could have all of this set up on the table ready to actually perform. So here we go, this is the handling for the routine. We've got 3 dice and they're all placed in different positions. So let me show you exactly what I mean. The first dice is going to start on the table or start inside the actual jar. Dice number 2 is stuck to the bottom of the jar. Now what you can do if you're a little bit concerned about angles, because let's face it, there is a dice in there, but it looks so good, it's very difficult to see once it's inside one of these little jars. But what we can actually do is just take a little bit of paper and we can place it over the top of the jar so the jar looks like it's got some decorative paper wrapped around it. Alternatively, you can take a black paint and paint the inside of the jar black or white. And that way it's just going to hide the actual dice, and it's also going to be not so obvious that you've painted the inside of the jar because it's either black or white and you might get the reflection of your jumper or something along those lines. But the reality is, if it's done nice and neat, it should just look like a part of the actual jar. It should be something that nobody questions. But the best thing I would say is to make sure your angles for this are perfect and keep it as a solid jar. So it will work in a performing environment and it will also work for video content such as YouTube or any social media platform that you might want to apply this to. Anyway, so the third one is actually here on the back of the card, and all I've done is I've placed a magnet into a playing card. I've then stuck a playing card on top, so what we have is just a magnetic card, and inside the box I've got a hold cup all the way through, and this just sits on top, and this creates a really good illusion of a flat playing card just sat on top of the box. Alright, creates a really nice effect. So I'm going to remove the first dice. Each dice, by the way, all 3 dice have a magnet placed on the bottom. And I've just simply stuck a little bit of white paper, and then I've pushed a black Sharpie pen to create an extra dot. It's as simple as that. So here we go, this is what it looks like. So the first phase is a matter of placing the dice on top, and as we know, we already have a dice on the back of the lid. Now, when it comes to actually performing this, all we've got to do is tilt the jar so nobody can see inside it. We can rattle the dice and we keep the lid tilted. We dump out the dice and we keep the lid tilted as it goes back on. And then I'm going to place the dice on top. But as I place it on top, I make sure the number 1 goes down to the bottom. That way the dice isn't going to flip over or any magnetic movements. So I can just place it on top. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to smack down. So when I do, the dice just dislodges that's on the inside as I smack, and I come back up whilst retaining the dice like so. So now that is the first phase, and when I do this on social media, I have a second table here that I am just going to drop this dice secretly on, but out of view as my hand comes back up, and it all happens in one swift motion. A little bit like this. So we bang that dice through, I come down and I pick this up, and I've simultaneously just dumped the dice. But if I was performing this for people, I would step back away, I would push that towards them and let them investigate this so they can see that it really is inside. And then I would just casually place this inside my pocket, or have something which is magnetic on my back pocket for the dice to adhere to. And because I've just banged it down with the magnetic side down, that will easily connect to the magnet. Okay, so this piece, the second dice, has now been dislodged, and we're now left here with just 1. And all I'm going to do now is pick up the playing card while simultaneously flipping the box. This looks natural because it just looks like I'm picking up the box with the card, and I've of course got the dice adhered magnetically to the back of the card. So now what I'm going to do is explain to the participant that I'm going to do it again, but we're going to make it more impossible by placing the lid on top of the card, and then the dice is going to go on top of everything. And as I explain this, I just pinch the lid and the dice simultaneously, and all I'm going to do now is just slide the dice, but that happens like so, and I've now just loaded the dice onto the lid. So now I'm free to pick this up. I then place the card on top, and then I place the dice on top of everything. And now all I'm left to do again is just smack, and as I do, that dice appears to dislodge down, and then I can pick up the card, show that that is now inside, remove everything whilst making sure that this dice here cannot be seen. So that, my friends, is exactly how the Ultimate Dice Jar works. I hope you enjoy it. I've left some links below, so if you want to purchase this and make one of these up, then it's very, very straightforward. You're only going to need some of these very small magnets. You're going to need a jar with a magnetic lid. Well, it doesn't have to be magnetic, it just has to be made of metal. Unless you want to take some paper, you can use any jar and place a coin or something like that there, because after all, it's going to be the dice that adheres, because that's what has the magnet on it. If you want to learn some magic and pick up some secrets, then head to themiraclestudio.co.uk, and there I have a subscription service which is ridiculously well priced. I mean, it's seriously cheap and it's affordable. So make sure you check it out. Head over to themiraclestudio.co.uk, and there you will learn so many more secrets. Take care of yourselves. Bye.